What is WFOE, the wholly foreign-owned enterprise? In this video, I'm going to explain what it is and the advantage and disadvantage of this type of company. I'm Feng Chen, and I help people by giving marketing and business advice. So if you are looking for information about WFOE and would like to learn more about the businesses in China, be sure to subscribe my channel and click the bell button to be notified every time I release new video. If you are looking for information about the WFOE, the wholly foreign-owned enterprise in China, I'm guessing you may be brand or company owner who is trying to expand your business into China. Am I right? If I'm right, then you are in the right place, because I'm going to explain to you what it is and the advantage and disadvantage of this type of company. What is WFOE? The wholly foreign-owned enterprise in China. A WFOE is a business that is 100% owned by foreign investors. The number of FWOEs in China has been growing steadily in recent years. Some estimates suggest that as of 2023, over 1 million WFOEs in China. WFOEs are allowed to operate in most industries in China, with some exceptions. But the most popular industry for WFOEs in China are manufacturing, wholesale and retail, and IT. The minimum registration capital for WFOEs varies depending on the industry and the location. WFOEs are a popular choice for foreign businesses looking to invest in China. But it required to have a Chinese legal representative, a legal rep. This person must be a Chinese citizen. WFOEs are required to have a local office. This office can be located in any city in China, but it must be staffed by at least one Chinese employee. So, what is the advantage of WFOEs? So, the first advantage is that it has full ownership and control of the businesses by the foreigner. So, it actually, you are not required to share the partnership, have a partnership with a Chinese company. Everything will be owned by you as a foreigner. The second thing is IP protection. So let's say if you are a brand owner, you are selling internationally, such as American, Canada, and you're looking to expand your product or service into China. You got a trademark, so you want it to be protected in China. In this situation, of course, you're going to file a trademark, right? But on the other hand, you may ask me, what's the difference if the trademark is actually owned by a Chinese company or a foreign company? What's the difference? In fact, there's no differences. It's still being protected in the trademark law in China. But the thing is that if you have a Chinese company in China, then it actually have less complicated. It's gonna be less complex when you're trying to enforce the trademark protection in China. So let's make it this way. So let's say your trademark is being stolen by a bad person, right? It's not just in China, every country has bad person, right? So this person, right, if they see that your China trademark, the trademark in China is actually owned by a foreign company, you're far away from China, right? They will be, take the risk sometime to use your trademark because they know that you are not enforcing in China. You are far away from the market. But on the other hand, if these people, they see that you actually have a company, entity within China, then they're gonna be second think when they want to do that. So let's say you got a trademark issues, an IP problem in China, right? You have some dispute. To make a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just telling my experience to you as a businessman. Okay, so let's say you got a dispute in China, right? If you are a foreign company, it's gonna be very complicated, for you to go over all the filing and paperwork. You may have to go to the China embassy in your country just to get a lot of documents, to be verified, before you getting a Chinese lawyer. So you get my point. Using Chinese company entity is gonna be easier for this type of issues. The second advantage is the ability to hire and manage Chinese employees. So let's say if you want to hire Chinese employees, then the best bet is to have a Chinese entity. Because nowadays, the Chinese employees, when they try to look for a job, one of the condition for them is that if you are a local company or not, right? If they can see your company, they can actually go to your companies in China, then they are not obstacle to choose you as your employer. But then the other thing is that nowadays the Chinese employment law is very matured, that the workers or the employees really cares about their rights. So if you are a Chinese entity, then you are able to make a contract or employment agreement with the workers. Then it's gonna be a good balance of rights for both sides. In this situation, you will be more likely to be chosen by Chinese employees who are very good or have high competence of the job. The last advantage is that it gives you more trust to the potential customers in the China market. Because when the potential buyers, right, they see you as local companies in China, they will think that their rights, their purchase rights, is gonna be more protected, by the law, instead of unknown company, from different countries. So this is the advantages of WFOEs in China. It really makes sense because China is the market of China is huge. If you are a business or brand owner in the international market, then of course you want to sell your product or service into China. There already are lots of famous brands, worldwide brands, taking the step, expanding, their businesses into China and having the WFOE's entity. So, I mean, this is becoming more and more popular now. So, if you want to sell your product or service into China, you definitely want to consider having WFOE in China. So, is there any disadvantages of doing WFOE in China? One disadvantage is that you're going to experience a more complex registration process than a local citizen. But in fact, it's not that bad. You're going to take more steps or file more documents and proof, for the documents. But, the time length is not going to be that much different. The second disadvantage is higher investment requirement. But to be honest, it really depends on what industry you are getting in. For most industry, the investment level is going to be the same as the local cities. So having a WFOE, wholly foreign-owned enterprise in China, is going to be a must if you want to expand your businesses, your product or services into China. If you love this video and you would love to learn more about businesses in China, be sure to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks guys, I will see you in my next video.